It's not in the face! Thank you.
In regards to boxing, I have another question for you because Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia's camps are saying that they have not been paid in full. Oscar De La Hoya came out and released a statement and basically said, check your contract. If you had bothered to check your contract, you would see that everything is right there. The money doesn't come in all at once. Blah, blah, blah. I need to know, is Oscar De La Hoya telling the truth or is he spinning us a yarn?
Well, without seeing their contracts, I don't know for sure, but I would suspect there is some truth to what Oscar's saying. I mean, part of it might just be that Garcia is just annoyed and trying to pick a fight. But the other thing, too, is, I mean, it could be that they expected some information they've gotten on about how the match did, and what I should know, they got paid their guarantees. You can't, there's an amount you're paid on the night of the bout that's put in, that you have to get your checks. They got that original payment. What they're looking at is their back end, right? Their upside, or it could be a guarantee too, like a guaranteed upside that they haven't got yet. But so it's very likely Oscar probably, I have to say, is probably telling the truth in the contract. But I also could believe that the boxers are annoyed because they haven't been fully informed. Because if you have a partner, your promoter's a partner, they probably tell you what to expect, how the sales are doing, right? I'm not sure how much communication is going on. And also, you got to remember remember what he did to Triple G, the lawsuit. And so I'm sure everybody's on their eyes are very alert, keeping an eye on him, that he is going to pay up in full. So I think the shock might come for both Haney and Garcia is that I have a suspicion this event, what they were expecting it to do, it did not do as well. And part of that is, I know DAZN, they're putting a lot of money in trying, but DAZN, the footprint of DAZN in the United States is just not that strong.
When you're out here and you're charging god-awful fees and you're just to be able to be in there and buy their pay-per-view. I mean, they took the ESPN model to a whole nother level, and then they charge you for the pay-per-view. Like, you're going to pay $30 more for your pay-per-view just by virtue of having that subscription, when you could go straight to payperview.com and get the same thing for $30 less. So I understand why people aren't latching on to DAZN over here, because DAZN has done a bait and switch, in my opinion. I feel like it's fraudulent. Do I subscribe? Yes, I do. Am I pissed every day of my life because of it? Yes, I am.
In some ways, I think DAZN is if what DAZN had tried to do, if they had the top ranked ESPN deal, they would have been more successful of building up pay-per-views and stuff, because they seem more committed to putting on bigger opponents against each other. And then Top Rank seemed like they're just committed to collecting the license fee that ESPN's been paying them without putting their stars against each other, really. So
with DAZN, though, their whole thing when they came out was we're gonna eliminate pay-per-view. You come with us, and for this fee, you get to see all of our content. And it was maybe 13 months, 14 months later, all of a sudden, we're going to start charging for pay-per-view, and you need to pay us your monthly fee. If they hadn't come into the space with their entire premise being, pay us and you never have to pay for pay-per-view again for any of our fights, that's what's pissed everybody off. They've been around 5 years, and this is what they've done. And they've jacked up the price constantly, a lot too.
Well, I mean, that's the worst. Okay, the pay-per-view thing was silly as hell, because it was only going to work if they captured the entire boxing market, and every boxing fan subscribed, and that's like, well, we make so much money, we don't have to charge for pay-per-views now. Well, that was unrealistic as hell, right? You're not going to generate that kind of revenue. You're not going to be able to cover the amount of money that a Canelo or a Tank Davis, especially when they know there's these massive fights that could happen. How are you going to now, if you're not doing pay-per-view, how are you going to pay for that? Right. When there's events where these guys can make 100 million or more. So that's one, the pay-per-view was silly. The other thing too, though, they have a product in the United States that offers basically just boxing for American audience. What other product am I paying this $20-some a month now for?
Yep.
Just boxing. I mean, at least when Showtime was around, you paid your money for Showtime. You got TV shows, you got movies I could watch. There's other stuff. Most Americans aren't. The other content on DAZN is not stuff that American fans are really interested in. I mean, you know what? Some European soccer, some cricket,
cricket.
I don't know what.
Oh my God, they have cricket on there. Who the hell? I mean, I'm expecting curling next.
Well, I got to be honest. I do enjoy a little cricket. I'm not a big fan, but I loved when the Americans just beat the Pakistani team this last week. So I'm all for but it's not a sport that I'm not a real fan. I mean, I'll watch it occasionally as on a major international event thing, just as something to do. But I'm not like I will not be paying a $24 a month subscription for cricket.
It's $29.99 now.
$29. Well, you know what? I gotta be honest. I stopped. I canceled my subscription a while ago on DAZN.
It's nuts. And speaking of boxing, let's get back to some numbers. Now, you alluded to something that I had already set up a question for earlier, and that was the numbers that Mike Coppinger turned in for Fury Usyk. So go ahead and give us what you got. To access the bonus content of this episode, you must be a paid subscriber. To do that, go to heynottheface.substack.com and subscribe today.
Ow! Ow! Not the face! Ooh! Ooh! Okay, the face!